Despite being an international boxing icon, Muhammad Ali inspired people with his spirituality. People recognize Ali as one of the greatest boxers, but are unaware of his refusal to be inducted into the army. Although his refusal during the Vietnam War resulted in severe consequences, he was determined to defend his religious beliefs. By joining the Nation of Islam, Ali would plea as a conscientious objector, which led him to overcome his exile years and become a significant turning point. Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., born on January 17, 1942, in Louisville, Kentucky, began boxing after his bicycle was stolen. Never wanting to feel victimized showed motivation to start boxing at the age of 12. He began amateur boxing, which led his participation in the 1960s Olympics and winning a gold medal. Unfortunately, the fame did not follow him home. Segregation in Louisville was active as well as the rest of the United States, which caused Clay to become furious when he was refused service at a local restaurant, eventually inspiring Clay to join the Nation of Islam to promote Black power, utilizing his fame within the ring. Clay signed a professional boxing contract at the age of 18. At the start of his professionalism, he was knocking out his opponents or winning by decision.
Tell him, what are we going to do? You're going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. That's what we're going to do.
He received the chance to fight for the heavyweight title in 1964 against Sonny Liston. Rumors began to spread that Clay had joined the Nation of Islam, which at the time was perceived as a racist or communist group. The Nation of Islam was a Muslim group led by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who acknowledged faith as a vehicle to promote Black separatism. Malcolm X was a primary person who preached Clay about the religion, causing him to join in 1964. His affiliation was kept a secret because he feared it would affect his first heavyweight match.
He will be mine in round 9, and if he makes me sore, I'll cut it to 4.
Thank you very much.
And if that don't do, we'll get him in 2. If he run, we'll get him in 1. And in your heart, you know I'm right.
On February 25, 1964, Cassius Clay fought Sonny Liston for the heavyweight title in Miami, Florida. Nevertheless, Clay won during the 7th round when Liston refused to continue.
I am the king of the world. Hold it. Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I shook up the world.
The following day, Ali announced he was a member of the Nation of Islam and converted his name to Muhammad Ali. Many fans and critics were disappointed, confused, and angered by his statement. Since blacks weren't known for speaking in public the way Ali did, his diction caused hatred with whites and pride with blacks, therefore utilizing words of religion to inspire colored people.
All of the odds were against him. He upset the odds makers. He won. He became victorious. He became the champ. They knew that as soon as, if people began to identify with Cassius and the type of image he was creating, they were going to have trouble out of these Negroes because they'd have Negroes walking around the streets saying, I'm the greatest.
The greatest challenge Ali would face would not be in the ring, but against the Supreme Court. In 1966, with the war in Vietnam growing, the mental aptitude percentile required by the military lowered from 30 to 15. His attorney presented a letter requesting deferment from war, but was denied, therefore being reclassified as 1A, making Ali eligible for draft. Refusing to be inducted into the army because of his religion caused a significant turning point. People argued his refusal was unpatriotic. Muhammad was immediately being questioned by reporters.
Why should me and other so-called Negroes go 10,000 miles away from home here in America to drop bombs and bullets on other innocent brown people who's never bothered us? And I will say directly, no, I will not go.
America had yet to turn against the war, so the sporting press raged against him. Ali requested exemption from the draft. However, this time, his plea requested a conscientious objector status, but was denied again. The FBI investigated Ali, but argued his status was political and racial, denying his request for a 3rd time.
He said, this isn't right for me, and I'm going to take a stand against it. He didn't do it, for anybody else but himself, because he didn't believe that if he couldn't even get served in a restaurant in his hometown at that time, why should he go across the country and fight when it wasn't equal here?
Most of the reporters failed to understand Ali's importance beyond the ring. Without the support he deserved from the media, a relationship began to develop with Howard Cosell, and Muhammad utilized interviews to promote himself. On April 28, 1967, Ali continued his conscientious objector claim in Houston, Texas. 1 hour after his refusal, the New York State Athletic Commission suspended his boxing license. Muhammad Ali was stripped from his title, forbidden to fight in all 50 states, and his passport was confiscated.
9 top Negro athletes meet with Cassius Clay to discuss his anti-draft stand. They include Bill Russell, Lou Alcindor, and former pro footballer Jimmy Brown. Says Brown after the meeting, the champ is sincere in his religious beliefs. He believes in his religion, and his stand is based wholly on that. Clay's induction refusal cost him his title, and he faces a possible 5-year prison sentence.
Meanwhile, Ali remained a minister for the Nation of Islam, continued attending meetings, and made money speaking on college campuses and Broadway.
During that time, it was very difficult for Muhammad because he really didn't earn an income. But he did that with the understanding that he believed in himself. And he gave all of himself for his religious beliefs and for standing up to something that he truly believed in. And not a lot of people would go through that same experience of losing millions of dollars through the profession that he did, like he did boxing. And I don't see too many athletes who would be willing to stand up as courageous and as bold as Muhammad Ali did.
America was slowly emerging to oppose the war and revolutionize the era of anti-war, causing support for Ali to grow. Pending the exile, Muhammad Ali grew larger, becoming a political and social humanitarian. Combining his athletic talent and social actions, Ali became an icon for millions of Americans who disapproved of war. Realizing his religion was more valuable, Muhammad would not tolerate anything that contradicted his beliefs. Ali began attempting to get a boxing license with the willing to fight outside the country, but the Justice Department denied his passport. Atlanta, Georgia finally granted Ali a license to box. On March 8, 1971, Ali fought Joe Frazier to regain the heavyweight title. Unfortunately, he lost during the 15th round, which was the first loss of his professional boxing career. In 1970, the New York State Supreme Court ordered his boxing license reinstated, and the same year, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned his conviction for evading the draft. The United States granted his innocence, therefore challenging the system for his belief was worth every negative aspect that occurred. Ali managed a remarkable comeback against George Foreman. The Rumble in the Jungle became Ali's vengeance for the title he never intentionally lost. People had the misconception that Ali had given up his primary years and could no longer fight equivalent to his prior years. The Thriller in the Manila was one of Ali's most memorable international fights, against Frazier for the 3rd time, and won during the 15th round.
That was pretty much going to be it. I mean, had he won the fight, he might have defended the title a few times, but he really had nothing left as far as what went on in the ring. So it was pretty much the exclamation point at the end of the chapter on what these men had accomplished in their entire careers.
Ali ultimately retired on December 21, 1981, with a record of 56 wins and 5 losses, and is the only fighter who was heavyweight champion 3 times. 3 years later, Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's syndrome, but the United States honored him by lighting the flame at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. Muhammad was a primary change for the sport of boxing and stunned the world with never-before-seen reflexes, speed, and individual techniques. Although Ali was stripped from his title, he realized his religion was furthermore important. Continuing to pray 5 times a day indicates the Nation of Islam remains valuable throughout his life. The courage to stand during a divided, controversial period in America will honor Ali as the greatest conscientious objector. Few people have the ability to fight alone against the United States during the peak of their professionalism. Muhammad Ali was indeed a powerful turning point, and all great people do, but none with the amount of spirituality Muhammad Ali had.